HellHades is calling me out. Okay, to be fair, he is calling all of us out because the new year is almost upon us, and in less than 2 weeks' time, HellHades is launching his 2025 free-to-play challenge. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the challenge from this past year, I highly recommend you go and watch some content from your favorite content creator from around January through March, because there were 50 content creators who participated in this past year's challenge, and over 2,000 members of the community who joined us. And recently, for the last month or so, I've been getting questions from viewers about whether or not I would participate if there was another challenge this year. And so I'm going to answer that question in today's video. But first, we're going to take a look back at the 2024 challenge. We're going to talk about what was good about it, what was bad about it. We're also going to discuss why you might want to participate in a challenge yourself. And then finally, I'll let you know what my decision is. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends, free to play. Let's get started. I was really pleased to find that the free-to-play challenge page from 2024 is still active here on HellHades.com. So if you are interested, you can find this page and come check out all the details. Now, it launched on January 12th of last year. It will be January 10th this year. And what happened was we were broken up into teams. So the 49 content creators who joined were all divided amongst 8 teams. As you can see, here are the 8 teams. They were all named after their captains. So there were 8 captains, and then everybody else just got assigned randomly. I was, in fact, the last content creator to be assigned. It was kind of funny when that happened at the time, and I was part of Team YST. Here is my team. As you can see, it was me, YST, Nothorious, J Warrior, Nacho Plays, and Pete TT. Now, I have to say that the best part of the whole experience last year was being part of this team. Team YST was absolutely phenomenal, and, you know, you see a big spread of points here, but I have to say that it never felt to me like anybody was slacking. Everybody was contributing as best they could. We can't all devote the same amount of time to the game, but we had an active Discord chat where if you pull the new champion, people might coach you up on that champion if you'd never played him before. Or if you were looking for a solution for a dungeon with the champions that you had, we would brainstorm ideas to get, you know, past a Doom Tower boss, or, you know, 3 more stages in your Ice Golem dungeon, or whatever it happened to be. So when somebody got points, it felt like I was contributing by helping them get those points. And when I got points, it felt like my team was supporting me to do so. So I really enjoyed hanging out with these guys every day. I talked to them every day. And yeah, it really felt like a team win. Now, I say team win because we did, in fact, win the competition. But I'm noticing here, we're now listed in 2nd place. So the tracker must still be active, and some people must still be playing their free-to-play challenge accounts, because we were actually ahead by several thousand points, and now it looks like Team Cold Brew is in 1st. And yeah, at least Cortavius here must currently be playing, because he was not nearly that high. I actually finished 2nd out of all content creators, and if you look, I finished with 12,767 points, I think. That sounds about right. And then Cropcho, who was Team Scratch, I believe. Oh, wow. He's also, okay, so he was at 13,000 points. So I know he's still playing his account, and I guess it's still updating. So these are not the actual finishing positions. I don't remember all of the finishing positions, although we have some videos from back when the challenge ended. You could go watch those and find out what actually happened. But when the team won, it felt really satisfying. I was proud of my contribution and my performance, especially because there was a lot of chaos in my life at the time. For the first 3 weeks of the challenge, I had COVID, which was an absolutely horrid way to start the challenge. And then my son was born 4 days after the challenge ended. So the last 2 or 3 weeks of the challenge, I was really focused on my wife, you know, getting to the end of her pregnancy in a healthy and happy way, and managing that. We didn't know when the baby was going to come, so there was a lot of uncertainty around it. Still, it was fun to compete, especially against Cropcho and Big Papa Drock, because the 3 of us went down to the wire trying to lock down that first content creator finish. So that was really exciting, and we did a collaboration. You can also find that on the channel if you're interested. Now, there are going to be some changes this year, and that will impact my decision about whether or not I will actually join in the 2025 challenge, because I enjoyed the team aspect so much. But this year, it sounds like they're only going to do 2 teams. So I don't know how many content creators are going to show up. I don't know if all of these people are going to do it again, but we had 49 last year. So maybe we'll have 30, maybe we'll have 60. I don't know. But they're going to break up all of the content creators into only 2 teams. I think it's going to be a challenge to develop like an esprit de corps in, 90 days when you have 25 people or more on a team, right? When you have a small group, you get to know each other and then you kind of develop relationships, and that's fun. Whereas this is not as interesting to me, right? 25, 30, 40 content creators on a team. That doesn't seem like a team to me. It seems just like a random pool of 2 groups. Could be anything. Could be any, like, what ties those groups together? I don't know. So that is one of my concerns. Now, HellHades hasn't released all of the details in his video yet. He says there are more details coming, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But that is at least one disappointing change that I know is going to happen, because that was my favorite thing last year. Now, in addition to the team, battles here, there was this really robust tracking system where you could find out about the community as well. So not just the content creators, but the community. And here is the list of the top 50 players in the community. And again, as you can see here, I am number 9, but I did finish at 7, I believe, when it ended. So at least quarter here, I think, has passed me, and somebody else must have as well. And yeah, Panda here with 31,000 total points. I don't think he finished that high, so he must still be playing as well. But absolutely amazing performances by members of the community. So this is cool. Even if you're not a content creator, you can be part of this challenge, and they will track all of your data. Now, in order to track it, you have to have the HellHades optimizer, and you have to be on either PC or Mac. You can't just do it on your phone. You can play on your phone, but you have to update the leaderboards through your computer, because that's how they've set it up. I guess that's how they were able to make it work. And, there's all these different ways to get points, all these different rankings that you can track. How did you do in the clan boss? What was your best one key on Nightmare? Who has the fastest 4 key in Ultra Nightmare? That kind of stuff. And then there were a ton of leaderboards for individual things that we got points for, like Great Hall Development, Tag Team Arena rank, each rotation of Doom Tower. So whether it was the first rotation or second rotation or third rotation, all of the individual dungeons awarded points. So it was a really cool idea, and I thought it was executed pretty well. I do expect that there will be some changes made this year, some refinements. And like I said, hopefully now that the infrastructure is in place, there'll be less of a burden on Saphira, so he can maybe play a little bit more in the competition, but also it'll be easier to manage. And maybe also going down to 2 teams. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they did that, because that'll be easier to manage all of the data and track the scores. Who knows? But anyway, that was the free-to-play challenge in 2024. So let's talk about why you should consider doing this, because I think some people are attracted by the idea of competition and some people are not. They're like kind of repelled by it, I guess, or, discouraged by the idea that it's a competition. And here's what I would say. Whether you are a new raid player or you've been playing for years, if you've never tried free-to-play before, I highly recommend it. One of the biggest revelations of last year's challenge was Big Papa Drock. Right now, Big Papa Drock finished in 3rd overall, but he is a kraken. He is a massive spender in this game, and he had never played free-to-play before. And we did a couple of collaborations on my channel and his channel talking about it. But one thing that he said is he had not had that much fun in Raid in a really long time. It changes your perspective on the game. The challenges become different when you can't spend money on them. And I think it can reinvigorate your interest and your love of Raid, especially if you've been playing a long time. Now, if you're a new player, it just gives you an opportunity to maybe take what you've learned and go back to the beginning of the game and start fresh and see if you can do a little bit better this time, right? So if you're 3 months or 6 months into the game and you go back and start again, you might really find that that knowledge that you've gained over the past several months of playing, it's made you a better player, and now you can exhibit that by snowballing an account even harder and faster than before. And finally, one of the reasons why you may want to consider playing during the challenge is to just see how you measure up in terms of your free-to-play knowledge. Can you compete with other really good free-to-play players? Because I got to tell you, there are some phenomenal free-to-play players who participated in last year's challenge. And I am kind of amazed that I was able to finish in the top 10 in the community, because there are really, really good players in Raid. And I worked my butt off to compete with them, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot, even after having already played for over 2 years and being a free-to-play player all that time. I played more than a dozen accounts prior to this challenge. And it was really fun to see how far I could push those free-to-play philosophies and practices and achieve something. Remember, the challenge is only 90 days. So, like, you can keep playing your account past 90 days. But we accomplished things in 90 days I did not think were possible. And it was just fun to see people across the community hit benchmarks that I would have told you would take 6 months to a year, and people were doing it in like 45 days and 60 days and 90 days. It was absolutely amazing. So that is why you should play. Now, the big question maybe you are still wondering about is, Colred, will you be playing in 2025? And the answer is, I would like to, but I'm not certain. For 2 reasons. One, I want to hear the details about the new challenge. When this video popped up and I saw, HellHades' face, he's like, here we go again. I actually did get a jolt of excitement. I got an adrenaline rush. And I do really remember fondly that challenge from 2024, although it was overwhelming. It was so much work. I put in so much time and effort. And so as soon as the adrenaline rush died away, I was like, oh, do I really want to commit to this again? But I'm at least, I'm leaning in that direction. That's what I will say. I'm leaning in that direction. If I hear the new rules and the new setup and it feels fun, then I will do it, because I also think that it would be good content. It's been a while since I've rolled a new account. In 2023, I played more than a dozen new accounts. In 2024, I have played 2. And the last one was this free-to-play challenge account from 2024. And so I think it would be good to roll up a new account again and do some early game content for new players who may still be joining the game. It's been a year since I've done that, and I would like to do that content. And I also want to test the new stuff, right? We've got relics in the game. We've got Chimera in the game. We've got all these new things in the game that weren't there last year when I did the free-to-play challenge. And I'd like to see how that affects the progress of an account so I can give the best advice possible to my viewers. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking at the moment, but I would like to hear your thoughts. First of all, would you be disappointed if I chose to opt out of this challenge this year? Or would you recognize that, hey, if I'm starting a second channel and I've got a 1-year-old baby boy, that maybe life is too busy for a free-to-play challenge? Would that be okay? Would that be okay? And then second, are you considering joining yourself? Because, this is open to everybody. And have you been a free-to-play player before? Is that something that is appealing to you because of the free-to-play nature of the challenge? I want to hear that as well. So let me know all that in the comments below. And yeah, that is it for this video. But I'm sure we will come back with another one when HellHades releases more details. Thanks so much for hanging out today. I have been Colred. I will see you in another video soon.